going on, everyone? Today we're going to go through the main few topics, and I'm going to talk about e-bikes, electric scooters, and I'm also going to give you a little update within the episode of what's to come. But first things first, we're going to break down one of the main key things that happened back 2 months ago in China. And this was the simple fact that a majority of companies in China that make these big brand bikes, such as Suron and all these other companies, okay, have been shut down. And they've been closed down until they make improvements that the government is requesting to take place for these bikes to legally be sold on the market. What that means is these companies now have bikes that are no good to be sold to anyone else. And we've been over this before a few times, I think, but it seems like a lot of people keep asking in the comments for an update, and I'm going to break down bit by bit today of everything that you need to know for the e-bike industry for 2026. Now, a lot of our bikes in England and electric scooters come from China, so I'm not going to lie, my eyeball is itching like crazy. And the problem there is that now a lot of the companies that have been selling bikes over here have probably been told by the government, okay, look, from now on, if we have a continue of batteries going up in flames or bikes that go up in flames that are made by such companies, we don't want them to be sold on the market anymore. Now, it won't just be England, it will be Europe as well. And the main reason they will do that is because the amount of fires, the amount of people that are getting injured. At this time, let's head over to YouTube, and I want you guys to hear what's said in this documentary.
Are suffering. Old bikes can't be sold, and no one wants the new bikes. If they're not careful, they could be fined by the government, so some shops have no choice but to close down.
小牛关门，5号关门。
NIU, Segway Ninebot, Yadea, and Tailg are all closing their doors. They've been...
Just quickly, to interrupt you all, this main company here, right? Let's pre this real quick. Yes, they do the product. So look, they're the main partnership for Suron. Okay? Now, what does that mean? These guys make a lot of other bikes as well, not just Surons. So you see there's loads of different versions, and look how cheap they are on AliExpress. And this isn't a good thing. So this means when you originally buy your bike, they're using the cheapest of components. And as we can see, these bikes are selling for easily in the UK for over £4,000. They also are very big in the electric scooter community. And as we can see, a lot of the electric scooters cause a lot more fires than what we expect them to. Now, we're going to head over to the electric scooters first for Parliament. And originally, this was meant to have an update for the 27th of February. And it changed. It changed to the date that you can see here, which is the 17th. And now, why do I think this is a big issue? Because this means that they are actually going to put in what we suggested in the last video, which was going to be all the information that was provided. And I think a lot of people got it confused because the scooter is not going to go 15.5. So you can't compare it to an e-bike. It's only going to do 12.5 miles per hour. And with an e-bike, if you wanted to use your push to go as they relate to it, a little button or a twist, you have to get type approved. To get type approved, you have to go through a DVLA. So that means the vehicle is then approved to be on the road, like A, a motorbike, B, a car, etc. And it's the same thing that the electric scooter is going to have to go through to be able to have that speed to go. Now, all of these companies across China, which we can see through...
been closed for a week, not just 1 or 2 days. No one dares to sell bikes now. They've closed down. They might only be paying for rent. If they open and sell bikes and get checked, they could be fined. No one knows how much the fine would be.
Recently, multiple media outlets have reported a shift in the electric bike sales market in Shanghai, with a wave of shop closures, including leading domestic brands like Aima, Yadea, and new brands like NIU and Segway Ninebot.
Now, NIU and Segway are both big brands in the United Kingdom.
Stores are seeing widespread closures. Some businesses admit they're in a dilemma as the new national standards for electric bike is about to be fully implemented. They're stuck in a situation.
And that means all around the world, as we can see right now, are changing their e-bike laws. especially when it comes to things like this, right? This happens on the 17th as well. This is the bill for the electric pedal assist. I might have said that wrong, however, but basically what this means here is that they suggested for the e-bikes, what they were going to do is they're going to tighten down on the components, the kits, etc. So anything that's like an off-road bike that's caught on road, they are looking towards pressing charges. And on the 17th, we'll more than likely be provided with that information. Now, it won't just be stores, because bear in mind, in a previous video, we went over this, where they have been going around, as in the government, going to stores with secret shoppers and investigating what has been taking place, what's being sold for electric scooters, what's being sold for e-bikes, all the rest of it. Now, if your company, okay, and you're not telling people that this bike is for off-road use purposes only, you're screwed. If you're someone that's hiring content creators to make videos around bikes that aren't road legal, there's going to be consequences towards it as well, even for the content creator. Now, that's why I've always kept myself within the street legal limit for an e-bike. And I can prove that, because everything with inside of Engwe's warehouse is 250 watts for the UK and Europe. And it blatantly tells you. Now, the issue is, right, like for this person's comment here, okay, you're wishing that my e-bikes get seized because you claim that it's not road legal. And how is it different from your bike? Well, I don't tamper with the settings and then go ride around with it. Anytime I have given you a video for settings, I have made it clear that it's not to be used on road. And in that time and moment, I haven't saved the settings. My bike goes back to the original settings. I might not mention that in the video because that's not what you want to hear in the video. That's not how the video is meant to be put across. But I always make it clear that you shouldn't be riding it above the 250 watts. 15.5 is your pedal assist. Your push to go has to be a legal limit of 3.7 miles. There's nothing else to it. Every single one of these bikes is a 250 watt. Even including this is a 250 watt. Unless you go tampering with the settings, then you have issues. Now, nowhere on the Gov page does it tell you that you can't have a bike that can be modified. If you are going to modify it, it has to go through the correct channels. You personally yourself are not the correct channel. And that's why we offered everyone the service of an MSVA. So someone professional will go through your documents and do the paperwork for you. But with that being said, you can't have a modified bike, neither tampered. By tampered, I mean the bike cannot have had the settings changed beforehand. So the bike has to be to the road legal limit, which is what the electric assist pedal cycle is. Electrical, sorry. But yeah, same thing for the scooter. It has to meet the road limits. That's basically the ins and outs around it. Now, when we come back to this documentary, the thing that we have to take in and we actually have to really, really pay attention to is what's going on in China. Now, it's not just one store or one company, it's multiple companies. Now, if you're a creator that's sitting there lying to these companies and saying, hey, look, it's going to be okay, just keep sending me your products, it looks bad. It looks terrible. And it doesn't just look terrible to the businesses, but it looks terrible to the people that are reviewing your videos to maybe personally think about buying a bike. Because if you're providing them with this false information publicly, let me add, yeah, it's not a good look. And why do I think that the police will look to press charges? Well, not the police, but the government. So with the electric bill, basically for the e-bikes, the lady made it clear that she was putting together that there should be a jail sentence to a minimum time for people that are caught using these off-road bikes. So that means if you're caught riding it off-road, they're going to make an example out of you. And if you're a social media creator and you're using these electric bikes to make videos to sell them, they're definitely going to aim to target you because you're someone that's pushing the wrong agenda and making it seem like it's a-okay for people to do this, which it's obviously not, you know. I think at the point we all have to realise none of us are above the law especially for what we put on the internet, which means if you think someone's not watching it, they more than likely are. And that's the crazy thing. You all sit there telling me, oh, the police are watching your videos. Okay, I'm not doing nothing wrong. If anybody wants to watch the video, thank you. I appreciate it. Watch it. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down. It doesn't make a difference. You still watch the video. But on a different note, I hope you guys got some information from this video that is usable for you. We're not done this yet because we're still going to review this video here.
Situation where old standard bikes can't be sold and new standard bikes can't be brought in. Some businesses have said the situation has lasted for over a week, with around 90% of sales outlets now closed. Recently, the discussion about the new national standard for electric bikes has become a hot topic across the internet, even surpassing many social and public issues.
Okay, so I'll be honest, at this point here now for the rest of the video doesn't really concern the outside of China. But yeah, so look, that's the truth. It's interesting to see because as the title tells you in that video, 90% of the bikes have been declined to continue selling through any market. Now, where are we going to start to see these bikes? We're going to start to see these bikes in places like AliExpress, made in China, wherever they can get rid of them cheap and cheerful to someone else, you know. Once it's left the country and it's with a different customer, what exactly are you going to do? Let's be real. You'll find a lot of these big companies as well will make one bike but then rebrand it 4 or 5 times underneath a different name. And if you don't believe me, you can go and research into the components and all the rest of it. It's, you know, it's all over the place. And that's why I trust Engwe to the best, because out of all of these companies that we've seen, right, these guys are still here. They're still lasting. They're still pumping out bikes like there's no tomorrow across the world, right? Now, when you hear me tell you, okay, the size of the motor could be 1,220 watts, I'm telling you that information because that's the information that's provided for around the world. But in the United Kingdom and Europe, it's always going to provide you with 250 watts. Now, if you're somebody that takes the bike out of the box and you start tampering with the settings, that's where the problems lie. And the issue isn't that you can access the settings or the settings can be changed. The issue is that you've done it, right? And that you didn't do it through the proper channel. I think that's the problem where a lot of people seem to misunderstand of why their e-bike is no longer road legal. In that manner of speaking, you have to be a trained professional to be able to let the bike qualify for such use. Your bike has to have a certificate and all the rest of it. For the e-scooters, it's the same situation really, you know. They're looking into what components meet road standards. Now, for people that have electric scooters that are currently being used on the road and they shouldn't be, well, this is the thing, right? The standards of what the scooter is going to change that meet the market requirements. And they're doing that to stop things from like fires, people dying in house fires, things like that. It's not even random. It's things that shouldn't be happening. And it's because such companies that we've previously just looked at are providing you with a bad quality inside of the battery. Now, the liquid's quite dangerous. If you haven't seen what these fires can do, I suggest you go and look it up for yourself in your own time. And, you know, I've got a story for you all actually. It was when I was going to work with a certain company to check out their twist-to-go legal bike on roads. And basically there's a company just maybe like 3-4 units away from them. Inside of there was a big massive fire. And I posted it on TikTok around the same time with the fire brigade and the scooter outside. And I was saying how crazy it is, you know, because these products are still being sold on the market too today. And the issue is that it needs to be monitored on what is being sold. And that's what they're aiming to do now. So the aim behind both sides, electric scooters and e-bikes, is to eliminate the big threat. So if you think that you're riding something now from a company that might be dodgy and the e-bike is sweating up and all the rest of it, get rid of the battery. Look into a battery that can still work on your bike and that won't be a technical issue. And you have to be looking for specific codes to match the batteries. So for Engwe, I think if we go back, let's see. I know this one definitely has the marking, and everything after this one here, which is the LE20, will do as well. Let's go down. So the batteries basically have to meet market standards, and it has to give you a specific information. I can't seem to find it nowhere. I'm pretty sure we've been over it before, but you can Google it for a CN certificate for the UK or Europe, however you see fit. Funny enough, if you guys are going to buy a bike, please use the link in the bio for Engwe so that I can make my 6% commission, please. Thank you. But yeah, on a different note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I managed to cover all angles, and well, coming in the future real soon, we will have an update on both sides, so stick around to find out what happens. And it's definitely going to be big, I'll tell you that much. We're definitely looking at a lot that's going to change between the safety and regulations of the e-bikes and scooters. Until it does, we'll be back with an update. Peace. Don't worry, my next episode I'm 100% riding. I'll catch you guys out there.